All right, welcome to Tennis Talk Daily. It's getting a little bit later in Boston. I think it's about 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. The day 4 of the Australian Open has begun, and there are a couple of matches that are underway. Sam Querrey, who has the potential to meet Federer in the 4th round, in fact, seems to be struggling against the Hungarian Marton Fucsovics. And has dropped the first set. We'll see how Querrey proceeds. He's been playing pretty well, and to be quite honest, I think Querrey's going to come back. There's one set down. That's my prediction, that Querrey will come back and beat Fucsovics, but we'll see what happens. This is in real time. Again, Querrey's just dropped the first set. But I wanted to talk about a few things. I mean, the Federer match is going to start later. In the wee hours in Boston, I'm not going to be able to watch it in real time. I wake up to a Christmas present every morning during these major tournaments. The Australian Open in particular, obviously, but with the U.S. Open, it's a little different. But Australia in particular, but also to some extent. Wimbledon, but the time difference in Australia makes it literally like you wake up and there's all this information to absorb, because most of it you sort of missed. But I wanted to mention a few things. First, Federer's match. It will be starting. It looks like it's going to be fairly easy. He's playing against an individual by the name of John Leonard Struff, a German. They've met once. Federer did get the better of Struff on that occasion, and it looks like Federer will probably not have a particularly difficult time with Struff, although tennis is tennis. Things are going to get a little more interesting in the 3rd round, where Federer will probably face Richard Gasquet. And although Federer's record against Gasquet is... let's see, they've met a lot, actually, and Federer is the better in the matchups. He has a 16-2 record against Gasquet. So Federer will look good against Gasquet in the 3rd round as well. Now, the 4th round is kind of open, but if my prediction is right, it looks like the American Sam Querrey will get through and to the 4th round, or at least could get through to the 4th round. Otherwise, Federer is going to be playing... some kind of question mark. We don't really know, but Querrey seems to be the best bet, and Federer will have a tougher match with Querrey, but certainly I think can claim the victory against Querrey, particularly if Federer is in a good place. So, but then of course the quarterfinal is when a lot could happen, but it looks like a possible Delpo. It could be a David Goffin or Delpo. I mean, I see the quarterfinals as really the critical hump over which Federer needs to get, because it's probably going to be against individuals who have given him trouble, either Delpo or Goffin. So that's sort of Federer's path ahead. He's certainly willing, able, capable, psychologically ready, and so I have every confidence that he's going to be doing really well. So the matches that are coming up, I mean, we've got the Djokovic match, and this is because of just the way the things have turned out. We've got a pretty early round where you got two pretty name players. It's going to be Djokovic versus Monfils. So Djokovic has a 14-0 record against Monfils. Monfils has never beaten Djokovic, but he has the potential to turn out very impressive performances. Now, my thought on this is that, I guess, can you really call it a test for Djokovic when the record is 14-0? I'm not sure, but it will be interesting to see, and I hope, I'm actually kind of rooting for Djokovic. It's been just great to see him play, and he's in form. He's playing very well. He's in good spirits. I mean, this whole rabble-rousing thing with the unionization, he seems to have gotten beyond that. No, he's doing a very nice job out there, and I think he does have a chance to do fairly well, but this will be an interesting early round semi-challenge for Djokovic. So that will be what happens there, and of course that is somewhat determinative of what will happen for Federer, particularly in a semifinal. Djokovic is in line for a semifinal with Federer if he can do it. And we know Roger Federer can do it. But on the other hand, you've got other people in line for that semifinal with Federer. Alexander Zverev is wanting to get into that semifinal with Federer. And then there is Stan Wawrinka that wants to get into that semifinal with Federer. And then there is, of course, Dominic Thiem, who wants to get into the semifinal with against Federer. Nobody wants to be in a semifinal against Federer, don't get me wrong, but they want to be there because they want the prize money probably, and they want to be there because they want to at least try to beat the great Roger Federer. So that's what the semifinals will probably look like. My original prediction for this semifinal would have been a Federer versus Zverev on this half, the bottom half of the draw. And that is, it's basically, it's Zverev or Djokovic, if you ask me. That's who's going to be waiting for Federer on the court in the semifinal, if you ask me. So that's going to be the other really great match that we're looking at. But there's a number of things. Dominic Thiem is actually playing right now, and I think he picked up the first set, if not the first two sets, in his match. So he's looking just fine himself. What else? Do I have anything else here that I want to talk about? You do have the, we've talked about the third round matches. I guess the final, well, I'll get two more things. The one thing is that the Australian Open website did a little piece about Ivo Karlovic, the Croatian massive server, incredibly tall, massive server who does seem to kind of be a mainstay at these Grand Slams and keeps kind of slugging through. Well, he got through his match in the second round with Sujita, who was playing very, very well, and who Matt over at Coffee Break Tennis once again is right to point out that Sujita can be devastating in his tennis skills. And but Karlovic looked good, and that the relevancy that has is because Kevin Anderson is out, you have a situation where Karlovic might have a fairly easy path to the fourth round at least, and then be able to get through to the fourth round to a quarterfinal where he'll have to deal with either Grigor Dimitrov or Nick Kyrgios or Andrei Rublev. Probably there might be Tsonga could do a great job as well and make it into a quarterfinal. And so that changes it because those people are probably likely to beat Karlovic, to be quite honest. I mean, Karlovic is great, and they call him the doctor. He's a fantastic tennis player, obviously. He's been on the tour for a while. And he is, a welcome addition to, the third round, essentially. And he's been in third rounds before. I don't think he's ever made it to a quarterfinal in his career, as I recall. So he might have a fairly easy path into a quarterfinal where he is going to face a real challenge in either Nick Kyrgios, Dimitrov, or again, there is this Rublev question. I mean, I really like Andrei Rublev. We'll see. He's young, and it may take a little while. It may be the time for Kyrgios. But in any case, the tournament is basically starting to pick up pace. This is what I love about tennis. It starts so slow, and it's hard to get your head around the draw and all the different people in these big tournaments. There's lots of different people, and just none of them are chumps. Even the qualifier. I mean, all of these guys are just great tennis players, and people like Rafael Nadal, and they come out, and Roger Federer, they come out and they play these no-names, but I tell you what, they are dead serious about it. They know that this is tennis and anything can happen. They take it very seriously against even players that are, not very highly ranked at all, and even players that they've never had a problem with before. So but as we proceed, the tournament picks up pace, and you can already feel it. Things are starting, the pieces are starting, it's like this piece of art in a way, and it comes together organically. but it's got this ruthlessness. It just proceeds, you know, it's round by round, and you either make it or you don't. And the singles is so beautiful in this way because it's just one man against another man, and or with the women's singles as well. It's pure merit. It's the best player on that day wins every time. It's not really a luck issue, if you ask me. I mean, you have physically bad days and you have mentally bad days, and I suppose that's a matter of kind of luck, physiological happenstance, possibly. You can just have bad days. We all have them. But generally, this is a game that is about merit. It is about the merit of the athleticism, the skill, and the tournaments are ruthless, and they leave people behind, and people are part of the carnage. But the great players just march through these tournaments. But the pace is picking up, and it's going to be picking up exponentially very soon, which is going to be great. And then you can really focus on what's happening. Right now, it's still hard to understand, but we're going to be able to focus. It's all happening now. I would love to post more, but I'm going to post more in the morning. We're going to have a bunch of results. I'll try to give you the best analysis I can. Remember, subscribe to this channel. This is essential tennis commentary. It's excited and enthusiastic tennis commentary, and we have it's a world class. It's a historic tournament that we are witnessing right now, and Djokovic is part of it, and Djokovic, Federer, Nadal. I mean, these players are, I don't think we're going to see players like this in one tournament for very long. Now, of course, we have the Big Four, and there's been other tournaments where we've had even a greater selection of some of those top players. But you know what? This tournament has a certain diversity about it that I just love. There's all kinds of different contenders. So that's what we're looking forward to. Subscribe, like to the channel. Talk soon. Bye.